I'm Jeremy Eagan, and I'm with Lanz Heating and Air.
Awesome, Jeremy. Thanks for joining us today. So, Jeremy, you've been an HVAC technician with furnaces for almost 20 years right here in Champaign-Urbana. With winter approaching, many of us are starting to think about turning that furnace on for the first time in the fall. So, as a homeowner, why should I plan to have regular furnace maintenance performed?
Furnace maintenance is very important for a system's life. When it's brand new, that's great. Hopefully it's installed well, but when you get it after a couple of years or 1 year of use, we need to get in there and clean out the parts of it, clean the burners, make sure that the condensate trap is clean. There's a lot of aspects to it that your normal homeowner won't be able to do. That's why you need a professional to come out and get their hands in there and clean it up and make it as good as they can.
So for the average homeowner listening, what's the most important thing they could do, say, to help prevent their furnace from breaking down? Or what's the first thing, or what could they do to make their furnace work very well?
Well, the thing that customers should really make sure they do is keep their filter changed. That's the one thing that every homeowner should have the ability to do, and it's very encouraged to make sure they keep that filter replaced. However, when you're talking about filters, the selection of the filter you put in there is very important. There's a lot of different filters available. You go to the stores, you go to wherever you buy your filter, you see a bunch of different options. Hopefully you get the correct size, but then there's a lot of different ranges in price. The ones that have a lot of filtration, like the allergen filters, if you really need that for your household, if somebody inside is suffering from allergies, then I can understand why you would want one of those filters. However, they do come with a cost, and that cost is airflow. The more it filters, the less airflow can get through, and that airflow can have a pretty dramatic effect to the longevity of your equipment. If it's running like it has asthma, that can be an issue. So you want to go with a filter that keeps the inside of the furnace clean, but does not dramatically affect airflow.
And it's everyone's situation's different. Like, say someone has a pet or something, right? Mm-hmm. That kind of changes the way you get a filter.
If you have pets, if you have things like that, you can a filter that does allergens or get rid of pet dander. You can still get some of those, but there are much better ways to clean the air in your house and then still keep your furnace being able to breathe properly.
So there's so much we could go through with filters alone, just because there are so many to pick from when you go to the store. Mm-hmm. So talking to you guys at Lanz is kind of a good way to start. And if you don't know which one, because you could, like you said, your filter could be working against you.
That is correct. If you put a filter in that you just bought from the store, and because it's an allergen filter, it has the same restriction on it as a filter that was running in a furnace for a year, I mean, that's a problem.
Right.
And you just need somebody to be able to explain to you, maybe this is not the right filter for you.
So that's where you guys come into play. So, all right, Jeremy, we're all busy these days and have a million things to do. For those who might forget or find it hard to schedule, does Lanz offer any help for homeowners to stay on top of things like that?
Yeah, we have a program. It's called our Comfort Family Program. It's a program we schedule visits, and we'll help you figure out when the best time is to have us come out and maintain your equipment. That goes a long way for the longevity of the equipment. Standard filter replacement is part of our Comfort Family Program.
Awesome.
So we'll end up dropping them off at your door, literally drop them off at your doorstep like a product delivery.
That's awesome.
And you'll get a year's worth of filters.
Amazing. So just with that program right there, so you guys will make sure they're the right ones, of course, like we talked about, and also provide them with that program. That's awesome. So one thing going on right now as we head into fall and winter, one thing friends and families are always talking about in winter is how dry the air gets in their homes. So how can Lanz help with dry air in home?
Well, dry air is a concern because, people will have that dry skin issue. They'll have issues in their nasal cavity, stuff like that. Some customers will complain that they wake up and their noses are scratchy. You can get single room humidifiers to try and alleviate that, but generally those are just for the single room that they're in. Usually those filters don't come with filtered water, and so you're just putting whatever's in the water, you're putting it into the air of the house. You can actually have what is known as a whole home humidifier installed on your furnace.
Nice.
And that'll put humidity evenly throughout the entire house. Wherever the furnace is heating and cooling, you're also getting that humidity from that whole home humidifier. Those are invaluable to some customers, especially customers that have like grand pianos. They have to have that humidity at that exact level all the time. Those humidifiers go a long way. They do require some maintenance. We just come out, we can change the filter that's in the humidifiers annually.
Tell me about air quality, though. I know we spend a lot of time indoors during the winter. Are there solutions to improve the air quality in homes beyond having a clean filter?
Yeah, there are a lot of different options. One of the options that we really encourage, that there's an item called an air scrubber. We can literally put it into your furnace. It goes in the ductwork, and it can ionize particles that go through the house, and that will help get rid of germs, dust, all the stuff that you want to get rid of. It helps clean the air in the house. For example, I'm allergic to cats, but I have a cat. And I love my cat. Nobody's going to take my cat from me. And it was just something I dealt with. I was taking medicine to make it so I didn't have any of those reactions from it. But Millie, she's amazing. And so I got my air scrubber, and I'm good throughout the house.
Wow, it changed that whole
literally
situation.
made it better for me.
Wow.
However, if she marks my face, which, cats tend to do, it can still give me a problem.
Of course. But no longer with, being the allergic, your symptoms went down because of the scrubber.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow,
I can walk through the house and not have the irritated eyes all the time.
When it comes to everything we talked about today, how do we make sure everything's prevented as far as breakdowns and safety?
When you're having that routine maintenance completed, part of our inspection includes making sure that if there's any part that is close to failure in your furnace when we're doing a tune-up, we'll find it. We'll make a recommendation. It may be working at that moment, but likely when it's the coldest part of the winter, that part's going to fail on you. And so that's our job. We go in, we take a look at that part. We take a look at all the aspects of the furnace, and if we see something that is close to the point of failure, then we'll recommend you get it replaced. And it's much better to do it when it's nice outside instead of having to wait for a technician to come out at like 2 a.m. and then fix your furnace because it wasn't maintained well.
You wake up cold, yeah.
Yeah. But the other side of it is when we're checking out furnaces, the thing that is the most valuable part of it is the safety aspect. I can't tell you the number of times I've come out to a house doing maintenance, and I found a situation that just makes my mind boggle. Just the safety things, flue pipes that have just kind of accidentally fallen apart, and then it's just venting into the house. I've seen it just venting all the byproducts of burning fossil fuels into somebody's attic. These are places people usually won't go. When they have us maintain them, we're going to check it all out, and we'll come across it, and we'll literally save the customer's life. But other than that, it just keeps it from having a safety issue down the road.
Thank you, Jeremy. So if our listeners want to learn more about furnace maintenance, of course, the Comfort Family membership, the scrubbers like you just talked about, comfort upgrades, of course, how do they get in touch with Lanz?
You can go to lanzinc.com or call